Check, check, check. Check, check.
Excellent. And I was just getting
Are you giving me a level 10 and a level 11 on my team, bro? Go on someone else's team.
Meaningless life. Molecule by molecule. No, atom by atom. I will tear you apart and scatter your remains to the stars. Truly a sight to be...
Can you hear me? It's Trunks. I've set a super time machine, as well as a crate of supplies.
Waste.
Here's how to launch.
You really wasted your grapple just so I couldn't open that box.
Place them in the right spots.
Bro needs to beat it for me, dog. This guy keeps trying to steal my shit.
You found a power key. Go slot it. That's a new power key. Place it now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stop to find this E key.
Great. You know what to do with that key. That's a new power key. Place it now. An ally needs your help. We don't know what danger awaits. Think before
Flying
rushing in.
Nimbus! I'm putting you out of your misery right now!
Please help me. You're my savior.
Flying Nimbus!
why is this guy still hovering on my body?
I owe you one. Holy hell.
Find this damn D key.
Flying Nimbus!
I had to A and see if I could find a soda. Or is that B? Soda machine gone. Usually one there, but someone probably took it.
This is bad. Somebody's down. Exercise extreme caution if you're going to help them. An ally needs your help. We don't know what danger awaits. Think before rushing in.
Before you die, allow me to show you what a fully evolved Tuffle is truly capable of.
Flying Nimbus! Great. You know what to do with that key. This is bad. Somebody's down. Exercise extreme caution if you're going to help them.
That's pretty much game, guys. Pretty much game. I'm gonna count this guy's body, and the key's right there. So he's gonna kill these two guys, and then escape time machine's gonna pop up.
An ally needs your help. We don't know what danger awaits. Think before rushing in. Stay calm. Stay calm. This is bad. Somebody's down. Exercise extreme caution if you're going to help them.
One person is down. This guy's dead if he gets killed.
Oh man. Holy hell. Oh man. Bastard.
That's game, bro.
Now then,
Baby, my lord, accept this and rise again.
of what I'm about to go and do onto you, mortal. To which, of course, the elite demon Gamu wasn't the only individual to now show back up within Universe 11, because next to him, with Kodos now being shown having to step through the portal and now having to address our heroes, was when the elite demon Kodos then went on to respond, well, if it isn't Universe 11's proud little defense force that have gathered all together here in attempting to go and take us all down, as the so-called Guardians of Virtue are finally now all here to come and save the day now, are they? As your presence on this planet only goes on to further confirm what I had already known about this universe, Kodos continues, which is now that your absolute best and most powerful warriors have all gathered together in hopes of having them try and defeat us, Kodos says, you will never be able to go and forge the necessary strength that will ultimately be needed in having to do anything here that will stop us from destroying you, mortal scum. As beside me here stands another elite demon known as Gamu, Kodos continues, Scourge of the Voids and Devourer of Resistances, in which together we shall go on to break the very spine of this universe in the name of our Master Lord Raijin, whose fury will sweep across every universe, and you, my fellow Pride Troopers, will only go on to serve as being the first who will endure every bit of what is about to happen here, because with millions across this universe and having to already have been destroyed by us, you will all soon go on to follow in their footsteps once we have had our fill within this universe. To which, as Dispo was then shown having to attempt to attack Kodos, Kodos was immediately shown having to be the aggressor here and not only having to catch Dispo's punch but also now being shown uppercutting him in the stomach, as Dispo went on to then quickly shout, like hell that you are, because maybe you weren't made fully aware of just who exactly we Pride Troopers truly are around here, but even if you don't go on in thinking that your empty threats are going to be enough here, and being what'll ultimately, whether you fear me or not, is irrelevant to my cause here, Pride Trooper. Kodos immediately had then gone as far as to interrupt by striking Dispo in the stomach. And then so now let me go and make something perfectly clear to all of you, as I didn't come here to stumble back into this universe to negotiate, nor did I come back to reason with any of you, but instead, I came back in order to cleanse it, Kodos continues, to grind this defiant little pocket of your so-called order into millions of tiny pieces, in making an example out of each and every single one of you, as once your blood has soaked into the soil here beneath you, Kodos says, history will remember your clan in being nothing more than a footnote in the face of Lord Raijin's dominion. And so now don't worry about the fate of your universe along with those who reside within it, creature, because once you are all gone, and for those who cannot already be turned and having them join our ranks in serving directly under Lord Raijin, will they only then be met with utter destruction, as they too will be destroyed without a trace. And since you would rather go and continue to choose to stand in opposing Lord Raijin rather than having to go and submit yourselves and having to join him, Kodos says, your fate was sealed. And so now disappear within the voids of the darkness that we hereby now cast down upon you. What the, Kodos then says? And just what exactly is this supposed to be, Pride Trooper? To which, as Dispo was then shown having to acknowledge another presence having to then be shown, it only had now appeared as though Dispo was very happy to see the individual that just so happened to have arrived, as Dispo then went on to quickly respond, actually, on second thought, Demon, I think you have far bigger problems that you will have to now go and worry about, as I just knew that he would go and show himself sooner or later, and so now you've done it. Which it was only just then within these very moments now, as surprisingly enough, Universe 11's God of Destruction Belmont was then shown having to make his presence known, and also now having to be shown wearing his original Pride Trooper outfit, was when Pride Trooper Belmont then went on to respond, oh, how I miss the days of when I was wearing my original Pride Trooper uniform like this, but I honestly must ask, Demon, was it the isolation of this planet itself and having you send such powerful life forms on it that had ultimately tempted you into coming onto this world, Belmont questions? Because I do honestly find it quite amusing to some extent that you would go and decide to come into Universe 11 and already expecting for your very presence to go and shift the tides within your favor, when in reality, this here is my domain, Belmont continues, and unlike the weaklings that you you had went and found yourself and having to go and prey upon. I, on the other hand, don't run and I don't beg anyone for anything, demon. And so now let this moment here go and sink into your very soul, because in just a matter of a few moments, Belmont continues, you will ultimately begin to understand on why this planet was chosen and why I didn't just simply come here to destroy you myself, because this world was actually meant for something far greater. Something that will rip you apart in ways in which that I could never even match myself, and because this was something that I already knew was never meant for me to go and deal with myself, Belmont says, there is someone, as a matter of fact, who actually does, and so I wanted a front row seat in having to witness the events of what is about to take place here within Universe 11, and as I just can't wait to go and see the look on your face the very moment you go on to realize that for all of your cruelty and for everything that you have went and done to try to break the spirits of those who reside here, Belmont says, that you were never truly the apex warrior that you thought of yourself in having to be, and it isn't even close when having to compare yourself to those who truly are, demon. But I'll just go and have you find that out all on your own, as I can promise you that it won't be long now until you do. Well, if it isn't Universe 11's God of Destruction, Belmont, Kodos responds, so, I see that you have taken it upon yourself to go and stick your nose where it doesn't belong, but I do find your little warning just now to be quite the interesting one, actually, because are you suggesting that this was all some kind of a ploy in having to go and draw me onto this planet, God of Destruction? Because if this in fact proves to be really true, then who are you eagerly anticipating that will arrive onto this world that will be what will define me, if it isn't already going to be yourself and having you come all this way to challenge me, God of Destruction? But then, it was only within these very moments now behind Kodos, as Kodos had now gone as far as to turn around and noticing Gamu being shown having to hit the ground, was when Destroyer Topo then went on to respond, maybe you didn't go on to hear what Lord Belmont had just said in having to tell you that this was going to be the line that has been drawn, as you are now in way over your head here and you don't even realize it yet, but maybe now soon you will. For you may have went and had been without an equal with the exception of Lord Belmont once before. This time, however, Topo continues, it will not be as easy. As you yourself had already went and sealed your fate within this universe the very moment you had went and decided to return here, because we aren't the ones that you ought to go and be worried about here, demon, for there is in fact another, to which as Belmont then went on to chime back in and having to see Jiren now appear from behind him, was when Belmont then went on to quickly respond, that's right, demon, as your destiny will be met in having it go and be decided by the very man whose life you set out to ruin, which you ultimately now had coming for quite a long time, to which as Jiren then went on to make his presence known and having to kick Kodos away, this entire ordeal had only now proven to be the exact plan that the Universe 11 warriors were conjuring up this entire time, as Belmont then went on to continue, so you might want to go and choose what you say here very carefully from here on, because you have far bigger problems that you will have to now go and worry about here, and so good luck. To which it was only just upon with Kodos' body now being shown having to fly right past Destroyer Topo, with Topo being shown having to acknowledge Jiren, was when Topo then went on to quickly respond, and there we finally have it, for the plan had worked, and now that we have these creatures exactly where we wanted for them to be, Topo continues, our only chance here lies in having us go and deal with each and every single one of them right now while we still can, for we will go and attempt to try to contain this battle from leaking out onto other planets around us, Topo continues, as we will need to go and end this here before they are allowed to be given the chance to leave again, to which as Jiren was then shown having to acknowledge Belmont, was when Jiren then went on to quickly respond, listen to me, no matter what happens in the meantime here, Lord Belmont, that one there is going to be mine to handle from here on, and so I will leave the rest up to you to go and decide while I go and handle my business with Kodos alone, and as I only hereby trust that you will go and grant me with this while I'm away. So then hurry and go and don't worry about the rest of them, Destroyer Topo went on to then immediately be shown jumping in as Jiren made his way right towards Kodos, for we will go and handle these demons by ourselves while you go and handle what needs to be done all on your own in the meantime, Jiren, and so hurry and go before he escapes again, to which as as Kodos was then shown attempting to stand back up was when Kodos then went on to quickly respond, "You again? Oh, I should have known. And so you're back for more now, are you?" And as I see that my words from earlier had finally managed to go and get through to you after all. Well, good. Kodos continues upon now being shown having to fire multiple blasts to Jiren. And as I was hoping to go and run back into you sooner or later anyways after our last encounter, only this time, I don't plan on going and leaving you behind until I go and make sure that you are crushed beneath the weight of my power just as badly as your pet. Wait a second, Kodos then stops. But just how are none of my attacks able to go and make direct contact with him, and watching him just casually make a mockery of my energy blasts like this? As he cannot possibly go and be that much more powerful than I am, now could he? Oh, but of course, Kodos continues upon now having to see Jiren directly dash towards Kodos and attempting to attack him. So then, you choose to still want to go and engage against me despite in knowing of the consequences that wait for you now.
Level 2, so as long as we jump him while he's still at level 2, we should be good. I have a lot of abilities unlocked.
time machine, as well as a crate of supplies. Here's how to launch. Find the power keys, then place them in the right spots.
You're a big help.
That was close by.
Oh man.
Oh, he's got him.
An ally needs your help. We don't know what danger awaits. Think before rushing in.
I thought my Nimbus was gone.
You found a power key. Go slot it.
You're my savior.
No one's gonna save this guy.
Great. You know what to do with that key.
He's getting camped. I was trying to save him, but
I won't go so easy on you.
got capped.
Hey, great! You found another power key. Use it quick.
Thank you. Thank you.
Holy hell. Flying Nimbus!
Welcome. Thank you. Whoa.
You're my savior.
Great! You know what to do with that key.
Not this key and we're good.
Thank you very much.
I do need a barrier. Nice if my teammates were doing something. I gotta do everything myself, man. Find the keys, plant the keys, find the dragon balls, everything.
Ally down! If you intend to rescue them, watch
Come on,
out
bro.
for
Why would you
enemies.
do that?
Access the
Busting the
startup
flex.
system from the central area. Just a little more to go, then you're done.
We have to kill this guy. I thought I'm gonna find a barrier, so just gonna go in. He's almost dead anyways.
Stay calm. Stay calm. Here comes the pain. You're gone.
No one does this to me.
It was a baby raider, but a win is a win, right?
Now, do you, Kodos, questions? Well, so be it then. As I will go and do what I must if it means in having to finally lay this story here between us to rest for good. But I am rather surprised, as a matter of fact, Kodos continues. You know, as much as I can't stand the sight of having to even go as far as to look at you, this was going to be one decision that I will ensure to go and make you pay dearly for, Jiren. And because I now see that you are hell-bent on getting your revenge here against me despite in having to put your entire universe in danger, I just want you to go and simply know that you will not win, as you should have went and had considered as to what you were going up against here, Jiren, and that is simply because I would have allowed for you to go and live only if you had went and pledged yourself in having to serve directly under Lord Raijin, for you could have been so much more than what you had went and set yourself out in having to become within the moment, Kodos continues. But I suppose that not everyone was built to go and handle such strength if it were given to them in exchange for their undying loyalty, and as my strength alone will be what forges the fires of your demise here, Kodos continues upon being shown having to uppercut Jiren in the face, just as it once was when I had went and used that very same strength to go and crush your parents along with your master and your entire clan, because as good as you may have gotten since the days when you were just a little boy, for the very promise that I had made just before having to go and leave your sights earlier is going to be the very promise that I plan on keeping, Jiren. But then, it was only just within these very moments itself, as Jiren was shown having to lean back forward and having to overhear what Kodos had just said, was when Jiren went on to then quickly respond, You think that you understand what true strength really is? For you and those who are just like you could never know what carrying that kind of weight feels like, nor could you even if you tried. For you have went and had robbed me of my family, my master, and my entire clan, and leaving me with nothing left but a painful reminder of their screams within the darkness, Jiren continues. As this is more than just some kind of a meaningless battle to me, demon, for this very battle marks the final chapter in a story tragedy which you had went and had created, you vile creature. As you could never go on to possibly understand the many hardships and the many battles that I had to go and suffer through, Jiren continues upon having to be shown uppercutting Kodos directly in the stomach, while also having to go and make sure that I never go through such pain as the one in which you had inflicted upon me ever again, and that was exactly what I had went on to do. So while you may have went and assumed that I was never going to recover from what it was that you had done when I was just a little boy, Jiren continues upon being shown having to leap up towards the sky, and while you may have already had counted me out in thinking that I was never going to prepare for a day like this, and while you had once looked down upon a trembling child who couldn't lift a finger to go and stop you, Jiren says, that very child is now long gone, and the warrior who stands before you is the reckoning of life that you had nearly went and ruined along the way but had failed, Jiren says. And as cowards such as yourself are not deserving of a swift and painless death after everything it was that you had went and put me through, and it's because of the misery that you had went on to bring onto your victims, and because you are not deserving of anything less than having me break you down piece by piece, Jiren says, I am going to go and do exactly that, just as you had once done the same onto me, as I am going to go and take as much time as I need to go and ensure that you are to go and feel every bit of the exact same pain that you had once caused me for yourself, demon. And for everything that you have done which resulted in the utter destruction of all those who were powerless to go and do anything to go and stop you, Jiren says upon now being shown slamming Kodos' body directly back down onto the ground. I am going to be the last face that you will ever go and lay your eyes on once this is all over, demon.
Alright, final match.
And
Just done in 2
so
minutes.
you are reminded, in case you weren't already aware, that there will be nothing that none of your allies from the demon realm will be able to go and do that will change the outcome of what is about to go and happen here, demon. As Kodos went on to then quickly respond, you will never find yourself in ever having to go and be successful enough to destroy the nightmares that continue to haunt you, Jiren, Kodos says. As no matter how hard you try, and no matter how skilled you may be, just like your parents alongside your master and your former clan, you too will ultimately be destroyed. And that is where you are wrong, Jiren quickly interrupts upon now being shown having to continuously smash down upon Kodos' head, because I don't plan on stopping this battle here between us until I am to go and make sure that you are no longer able to breathe, demon, no matter the cost, Jiren continues, as I will go on to do what I must in order to go and ensure that the nightmare of your existence dies once and for all. But then, it was only from within these very moments now as the demon Kodos was shown having to kick Jiren in the stomach and having to drive him back before Kodos had decided to go and unleash his true power was when Kodos then went on to respond, "Enough with these games, Pride Trooper, for I have heard all that I can possibly go and stand to hear from you, and so now understand that while you may in fact be far more powerful than I could have ever have imagined that someone like yourself was ever going to be, despite this very fact, however, though Pride Trooper Kodos continues, even if you manage to somehow go and find a
I don't know why they put me in E. I hate being in E in this map. It sucks. Yeah, I level 2. Sorry, I level 1 pretty quick. We hurt. Let me just stay here for a second. Someone found that B key. Again, the E key is the hardest one to find. Not enough moolah. No one's planting the keys. What's going on, guys? Goku Clan 2 is planting the A key, it looks like. I have a power key radar, so let's try to find this E key real quick. Why me? Wasting my dragon change. It's right here. I don't have a barrier or nothing, so I gotta chill for a second. Why are you guys in here, bro? These guys always come to me and sell me out. Close to getting my dragon change back. There's some big cubes there. Everyone needs to get the cubes. We need one more Dragon Ball. We'll look for it real quick. Billions. Here. Man, these guys suck. Fuck, man. We're gonna have to duke this out. The guy with the Dragon Balls has to summon, bro. Do not run away. Gotta go in for some help. Why are you guys running? Five and a half bars of health. Help out. Yes, that's what I'm talking about, bro. There's no running away when I play. There's no running away when I play. We stay and we fight and we conquer. We are warriors. Let's go, team. Those little pussies who ran away in Escape Time Machine, you get no tokens, fam. Talking about. It's either you die or you go down with the ship, bro. Or you win the match. There is no running away. Escape Time Machine. Hell nah.
Way to strike me down and beat me, that same little boy who slumbers deep inside of you will never go on to truly heal, no matter how badly you go and try to suppress that pain that lies buried within you. Kodos continues, for I am not just your enemy here, Jiren, for I am your origin, because without me, for I am not just your enemy here, Jiren, for I am your origin, because without me, you wouldn't be where you are today, Kodos continues, and without me, you wouldn't have been able to go and find much of a reason to exist, and deep down, you know that my words are the truth here, Pride Trooper. And since I have forged you within the flames of the fires of your own pain and misery, without me, you wouldn't have been able to find purpose, and so if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have amounted into anything, Jiren. And because of this, do you really think that because you have gotten so strong throughout the years that this somehow makes you invincible, Kodos questions? Because now that you have forced my hand in exerting my full power here against you, since you had left me with no other choice in having to then do so, Kodos continues, then I will gladly show you on why my words continue to go and reign true here, Pride Trooper. As I had went and had done away with your parents, your master, and your clan, and all you did was stand there because you knew that you weren't strong enough to go and stop me. And as I have went and had done away with your parents, your master, and your clan, and all you ever did was just stand there because you knew that deep down you were never truly strong enough to go ahead and stop me, for you didn't even try, Kodos continues. And as all you had ended up in having to do was watch and hide, and now what? You've returned desperate to go and prove that you are not the coward that I had went and left behind all those years ago, huh? Well, it won't matter, Jiren, because just as it was when I had broken your will to live and had shattered your spirit once before, we are now just moments away in having to go and do the same thing once again, just as it was when you were just a helpless child. And because of this, you became strong not because you believed in upholding your so-called justice here within Universe 11, Kodos continues, but it was rather because you had feared in becoming weak again that exposes your true vulnerabilities. And that mindset alone, Kodos continues, is what ultimately makes you far weaker than you can possibly begin to even realize, Jiren. And while you are still trying to believe that your strength has meaning beyond vengeance itself, in
All right, it's a low, pretty low level team. Pretty sure I got this. Moving. Is there anyone over there though? Okay, there's someone up there, second level. Careful now. Oh, there's another one right there. Bless. Trying to get that girl in here. Jumping me. You gotta be joking. Okay, I got my level 3. Good move though. Good move, though. That special beam cannon, it's not hitting like it does in the movies. Time pose ain't working this time, homie. It's really dumb of you. That was a Dragon Ball radar. That would be not a lot nice, but be someone in that cave right there. There's someone but underneath me, but I got my eyes on this person. Don't tell me he insta-rised. He's in that cave. We got level 4. Oh, I went the wrong one. I tried to hit A. Hopefully someone saves that person. Save that person. They just had to plant the key. I don't want to kill him because I want to destroy the time machine. Hurry up and plant the damn key, man. I'm trying to destroy the time machine. I'm just gonna leave the area. Hopefully they go do it. Cause we're kind of just wasting time at this point. Why would you sacrifice yourself, man? At least they didn't escape time machine. But they're no match for me. I dare the person to try to summon. Person didn't steal the other Dragon Ball from me, I could have probably summoned. Easy win. Next win we should have a S1.
Reality, it doesn't, as your entire existence was born from my cruelty, and since you are my creation by that very definition, it's time that we go and put an end to our long, troubled history once and for all, because just as it was when I had once brought you into the forefront of where you currently are, Kodo says, it's time that we hereby now go and reunite you with your loved ones in the afterlife, as I plan on taking this fight all the way until we have reached your grave, Jiren. to which it was only just upon with Belmont now shown having to engage against Gamu before having to send him flying off directly towards Topo was when Belmont went on to then quickly respond, "You know, I find it quite interesting that you go and call yourselves a legion, which implies that of structure, strength, and formation, but from where I stand, all I see is a withering mess of overgrown parasites who are simply latching onto the cracks of the multiverse in order to go and prove themselves to their grand supreme overlord. But tell me something, do they just so happen to assign ranks based on the amount of drool volume in the demon realm, or do they simply go off and having to base your ranks off of your failure rates?" Belmont questions. Because if you are truly supposed to be one of their many elite ranking fighters, then your ruling master Raijin along with the Dark Masters ought to really go and start reconsidering permanent retirement here. But I have an idea, Belmont continues. And so now why don't we go and try this? And so hurry now, Topo, for what do you say that we go and show our little demon elite here on just why exactly we are regarded as being one of the most dangerously powerful universes within the entire multiverse itself. But whatever you do, do make sure to go and bring him back to me immediately, with Topo responding, "Right, and so now let us go and do exactly that," Topo shouts upon being shown having to unleash a gigantic Hakai blast behind Gaomu, "for we will never go and take the knee in having to bow our heads before such monsters, even if what they say about their leaders is to be true, and having it result in our very destruction. And so now be gone," with Belmont having to then respond, "Good, yes, just like that. And even though it has indeed been a very long time since I had gone along and having to fight alongside the Pride Troopers and having to be one of its original members myself, why don't we go and give these demons a little reminder here on exactly why we are not to go and be messed with when it comes to invading our world. And since you demons have a tendency in having to completely disregard the rules and the laws that are each set in place for every single one of these 12 universes within the multiverse itself, I can only go on to promise that because you love to break the rules, this will only go and hurt for just a moment before it is all over. And so don't worry, demon. But now let's just see on how tough you so-called elite demons truly are when faced with the task of having to overthrow a sitting god of destruction," Belmont continues upon now being shown having to toss his Hakai cards directly at Gaomu. "And while I may have misled you into believing that the pain was only going to be but a temporary one, well, I lied. And truthfully, I don't really think that it would have mattered whether I did or not, because the outcome of your existence along with your purpose here was ultimately going to end the same, regardless of the pain that you had gone as far as to go and endure. And so now good riddance," Belmont says upon now being shown having to completely Hakai Gaomu. And as this ought to go and show you creatures on what will go and happen to you if you think that you could just go and come into my universe.
Super time. Here's how to launch. Find the power keys, then place them in the right spot.
Guy froze.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are you serious? Holy hell.
Flying Nimbus!
Alright, we are out of here.
Thank you very much.
Flying Nimbus!
I have no idea where this damn key could be. I already came this way, I swear. This annoying guy's over there. Pick the ball, man. Annoying ass motherfuckers. Probably lost this match anyways. Why is this wall so huge, dog? We still can't find the other keys. You know how long this E key has been found and no one has planted it yet?
This is bad.
Let's game, guys.
Universe and expect to go and get away with the chaos that you have went and had caused here, with Topo responding, "Good, that's the way, Lord Belmont," and with Jiren left to go and handle what is rightfully owed to him. In the meantime, Topo says, "Let us go and continue to eliminate what's left of these foul creatures before we are to fully go and redirect our attention right back at Jiren and seeing where their battle goes from there." But then, it was only within these very moments now from across the battlefield as the elite demon Kodos was then shown having to use his full power and having to go after Jiren was when Kodos then went on to quickly respond, "Still carrying your master's teachings on your shoulders after all these years since his death like some kind of a sacred burden now, are you? Well, it would seem as though his teachings don't appear to be helping you out here in this fight against me, because not only is my strength equally as powerful as your own," Kodos says, "but in case you haven't realized it by now, but you are being driven back more and more, which doesn't look good for you, because just like it was when you had failed to go and stop me from wiping out your entire clan alongside that wretched Master Geichin of yours, you are going to fail in having to stop me once again, and deep down, that desire and desperate conviction within your eyes that you fight so very hard to avenge will ultimately drive both you and your entire group of Pride Troopers into the grave, Jiren. As I had tried warning you that my power was not to go and be challenged, and since you had went and decided to go and seek revenge in attempting to go and destroy me for slaughtering those weaklings whom you often referred to as your family, for if they had all still been alive to this very day, then I would have went and had forced you to watch me go and destroy them all once again, and that right there is the greatest difference between us, Pride Trooper. And so while as impressive as you may have been in showing me on how much you have truly grown throughout these years, you are still nothing more than a weakling when staring into the face of my great and unbound demonic power, with Jiren responding, "You foolish demon, for there is far more to the depths of my boundless power that you could never possibly go on to imagine for there to go and be, and so if you don't believe me," Jiren continues, "then I am about to go and have you for what a joke," Kodos quickly responds upon being shown having to blast Jiren with a point-blank blast. "And as if I truly care about whether or not there is something more to your power that meets the eye here is utterly useless within my cause, and so since you appear to miss your loved ones this badly, then how is about you go and join them, Jiren? And so now don't try to fight it and just let it all go and sink into your very soul, so that way you may finally go and be with your loved ones once again within the afterlife." Wait, but what's this? Why am I sensing his power suddenly vanish without a trace out there, Kodos questions? For he couldn't have found a way to possibly go and escape me now, did he? Well, it doesn't matter, cause even if he did, there will be no corner of this entire universe that Jiren will be able to go and hide within that I won't be able to find. But then, it was only shockingly enough now from within these very moments, as Ultra Instinct Jiren had gone as far as to make his presence known by having to go as far as to strike Kodos, was when Jiren then went on to quickly respond, "And that is where you are wrong, because unlike how it was before, and unlike how you reigned supreme for so many years with no other means in having any other mortal warrior rival your power at the time, you are gravely mistaken if you think that the outcome of what is about to go and take place here between us is going to result in having this battle end within your favor," Jiren says. "And as the first of your biggest mistakes was allowing for someone like me to go and get away and having me grow into the man that stands before you, but on top of this," Jiren continues his onslaught by responding, "your second biggest mistake was being and having you be foolish enough by coming back into Universe 11 in thinking that I wasn't going to be ready for you, while also having to now go and show you that I too am able to now carry a power that goes far beyond the gods in wielding Ultra Instinct. For I swear on the very souls of all of those whom you've mercilessly destroyed," Jiren continues, "that I will stop at nothing in breaking you down piece by piece until you have gotten everything that you already had coming now for a very long time, Kodos. As you are now staring into a power that you cannot possibly begin to comprehend, much much less overcome in battle here when facing me, Jiren continues. And now that you are looking into the very eyes of the man whom you've once tried to go and tear down all those years ago, there will be nothing that you can possibly hope for that will go and put an end to what I am now, Demon, with Kodos responding, "But just how are you able to go and acquire a power like this? For this shouldn't have been possible for someone as weak as yourself to go and have you achieve, and so how could this possibly be? For how are you able to go and do this, mortal?" But then, it was only as Jiren's onslaught had continued by having to be shown throwing Kodos across the field before Kodos was shown then having to make his way directly towards Ultra Instinct Jiren was when Jiren then went on to quickly continue, "As you are a complete and utter disgrace, a pathetic excuse for a so-called warrior, as the very delusion that you seem to pride yourself within," Jiren says, "is ultimately going to be shattered, and it's going to be shattered by none other than me, Demon." To which, as Kodos was then shown dashing directly towards Jiren, was when Kodos then went on to quickly respond, "Curse you, Pride Trooper, for you aren't going to go and beat me that easily, because there is no scenario that could possibly exist where you will go and stand victorious over me, and you know it. For I am going to go and tear your limbs apart the second that I am able to go and grab hold of you, as I am done playing these little games of ours here, Jiren, and so this ends now." "Well, go and try as you'd like," Jiren quickly counters by responding, "because in the end, you are going to go and pay dearly for everything that you had went and did to me, Demon, as I just want for you to go and understand something as clearly as I could make it, for you aren't just fighting a mere mortal from the past here, but you are rather facing the wrath of the very soul that was forged within the fires of agony, solitude, and discipline, which you yourself had went as far as to go and leave behind," Jiren shouts, "because while you did what you could and while you tried to ruin me when I was left without anyone to ever go and turn to," Jiren continues upon being shown having to continue his onslaught against Kodos, "did you really think that this wasn't going to be something that would ultimately come back to haunt you, Demon? Well, does it? Because maybe now you can see that I have not only grown stronger through the pain that you have inflicted, but I have also gone as far as to transcend the gods themselves. As I have faced off against both gods and mortals alike, and despite with every challenge, every victory, and every defeat that came along the way," Jiren continues, "I had went and made sure to never go and allow for any of it to go and change or break me ever again, Demon. As you could never hope to go and do what you had went and did once to me before, because just in case if you haven't went and realized it by now, but we here within Universe 11 are not as simple to overcome as you and your legion assume for us to be. Because no amount of planning and no amount of warriors that you go and bring into our world will ever be truly enough to go and break our foundation, no matter how hard you and your army of followers go and try to do so," Jiren continues. "And with your confidence beginning to crack and with your movements becoming slower and slower with each passing second, understand that this was all because of you, Demon. And even though you had went on to go and take everything away from me, at the same time," Jiren continues, "you had inadvertently also gave me purpose as well. And now that I stand before you in wielding a power that no mere demon could ever dream of having to go and wield, I am going to go and break you just as you had once broken me," Jiren says. "As now that you are finally starting to see it firsthand for yourself, I can see that look when I glance into your very soul that deep down you're afraid. And rightfully so, because you should be, Demon, as I can see that you are trapped within the
savior. I need help.
You're talking too loud.
You're a big help.
Oh, there's nothing I could do. Yeah, a lot of Broly players today, homie. I'm not playing for long today. I'm probably just gonna get one more Raider match in, and then I'm gonna call it a day. Got some stuff to do. Try to find this A key real quick. Yeah, what happened to you, Tiger T? Haven't seen you in a while. How you doing? Still here playing Breakers, man. Back at ranked. Try to get this B key set. Hope you're better, dog. Being sick's the worst. Can't do nothing but lie in bed all day. Body sore, tired. At least you're good now, right? Bro, we lost 2 players. Not good. One person gave up. We have 6 Dragon Balls, it looks like it. Yeah, we got all the keys in 20 hours. You just wake up to use the washroom, eat, go back to bed. You're working some long hours. guy's still only level 1. Oh, I jinxed it. Now he's about to become level 3. Let me grab these soda real quick. I'm gonna leave those balls there. Pause. I don't need them. Or you have to exercise too. Birthday was okay, man. It could have been better. This year I went up north. Like I said, I'm still at my mom's house for the holidays and stuff. So like all my friends are in the city, and I live like 2 hours away from me. So they sent me money to buy drinks and stuff like that. I got a T-shirt. You know, at least I made it to my birthday, so I'm still grateful. Could have had a better birthday, but I'm just grateful I made it to 36, you know? You're about to get cooked. Broly is too overpowered. Like, you can't even fight this guy. Honestly. Impossible. Impossible, bro. Impossible. The legend has come back. Thank you for the $4.99 tea. Every cent counts. Appreciate the support and the love. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, we got KO'd. Came at the wrong time, but what can you do, man?
Think before rushing in.
I had a good cake though. My mom got me a vanilla cake. It was delicious. So that was the best part of it, to be honest. And I got to eat most of it.
I sent you a super transfer. Use it to hold the enemy back. The startup system is under attack. Stop it if you can, but retreat if you need to. Got it?
Defeating Broly, you need a good pre-made.
Under attack. It's dangerous, so tread carefully if you want to get closer. The startup system's destroyed. The escape time machine's almost prepped. You need to head for the beacon that's indicated by a blue light.
Are you okay? I owe you.
The only way you're beating Broly is if he stays level 2 and you summon the dragon. And everyone has good stuns. Honestly, it's hard. You can't 1v1 Broly. Like this, you got the transfer, right? So this guy needs to go summon right now. Actually, the guy who had the transfer, I don't know what he's doing. Is he gonna summon? Or he's gonna escape time machine have an ass? He only has 4 bars of health left, so we'll see what's up. Real, Broly's like Thanos for real, dog. Oh, they might pull it off. Yeah, one stun and they're good. One stun and they're good. Shit. Oh, they got him. You need 2 transfers. A transfer plus the dragon raider plus the dragon dog. W team. What you guys just witnessed was a rare win against Broly level 4. Went up a little bit. Close to S1. If I get one more win, I'll be A5. 2 more wins after that, I'll be S1.
Of your own ego, in hoping that your cruelty alone will go and save you as it once did, but now that you are fully able to go and experience the very monster which you have went and had created through your actions a very long time ago, you can't touch me even if you tried, Kodos. And so how about it? So much for that weak little boy that you had assumed was long gone by now, isn't that right? Well, you should have ended my life the very moment you had went and ended the lives of my parents,
Matches
master,
are going
and
pretty
my
quick today,
clan,
so
because you
hopefully we
could
find
never
another
go
match
on
under
to
5 minutes.
understand on how long I had waited for this very moment here between us, demon. And so now tell me, do you still believe that you can win, or is the truth behind your inevitable destruction finally starting to settle in, demon? And is the weight of your failure along with your pride finally getting the better of you? Because if this is the best that your so-called demonic power is capable of, Jiren continues, then you are in far greater trouble here against me than you can possibly come to even realize, demon, and it isn't even close between us. And here you went and had called yourself the Harbinger of Darkness, when in fact all you ever truly were was but a footnote within the legacy of my resolve and the target that I have been searching for a very long time now, demon. And just like you, who had once taken everything away from me when I was weak, so comes the day where I will now go and take everything away from you now that I am strong, Kodos. As now that you can go and see the true extent of my full power, you could never hope to possibly match me no matter how hard it is that you try, demon. Wait, just hold on now, just to listen to me, Kodos says, for it doesn't have to go and be this way. As I was the one who had went and forged you into the warrior that you currently are, Jiren, because if it were not for me, then you would be nothing. And so while you understand this, you need me, Jiren, and so just think about how much stronger you could ultimately become if you go and take this moment to let me go. For I can go and offer you so much more than what you could ever go and dream of becoming if you simply go and take this moment to let me go, because think about it. For what would you become and who would you be without me, Jiren? With Jiren responding, well, you're right about one thing here, demon, and that is the fact that you are still indeed without a shadow of a doubt the primary one who was responsible in having to shape me into the mighty warrior that stands here before you. However, going and letting you go after everything it was that you did in nearly breaking both my mind and my body would be the greatest possible mistake that I could ever come in having to go and make, as it is because of this very pain that you had went and brought down upon me is hereby my exact reasoning on why I could never let you go, demon. For you should have ended my life when you had the chance all those years ago, because this is where your nightmare will finally come to an end, Jiren says. Then so prepare yourself, for this is where our fated story finally comes to an end, and just like it was when you had went and slaughtered my friends and my family, I too will now go on to ensure that there will be no mercy, as there will be no escape and no second chances given, for you had went and had ultimately brought this down upon yourself the very moment moment when you had went and forced me to go and watch as you picked apart and ripped away at everyone that I had once cared about, for I just want you to go and simply know that this isn't vengeance, demon. This is justice, Jiren says. And so now go right ahead and take a very good hard look at what is standing right in front of you, because this is going to be the last face, along with having this be the final time that you will ever get to go and plague this universe ever again. To which it was only explosively enough within this very moment now, as Jiren had created and gone as far as to unleash a massive supernova that went as far as to swallow Kodo's whole. It was only with the other Pride Troopers having to oversee this from a distance as Jiren went on to finally vanquish and destroy Kodos was when Dispo went on to then quickly chime in. Whoa, what in the world? Incredible. Just look at the size of that thing out there now, will ya? Well, he did it, as I couldn't be any more proud in having to watch Jiren finally get the closure that he's been looking for ever since he was a child. As now that he has, I can only hope that you are finally at peace within, Jiren. To which, as Belmont went on to then oversee this himself, was when Belmont then went on to quickly chime in. Yes, that's the way, as I'll have to go and admit that even for someone as intuitive as myself, Belmont says, watching Jiren become the very storm that had once consumed him is almost poetic in a way, to know that the very demon who once sought out to destroy Jiren's soul as a child had ultimately fallen victim to that very same soul in the end, Belmont says, as you did what you had to do, and because you did, you have my highest praise along with my utmost respect, Jiren, for we had always known that your day would come, and upon us here today, that very day is, Jiren, and so well done. And what a beating that was, on top of such a powerful attack to go and close things off too, and so very good, Jiren, very good indeed, with Topo then having to quickly chime in. Jiren, my friend, I am so very proud of you, as I can only go and hope that you were finally able to find peace through closure, for the nightmare that had plagued you ever since you were just a little boy has at long last finally now come to an end. To which, as Ultra Instinct Jiren was then beginning to remember his clan parents alongside Master Gichin, was when Jiren then went on to say to himself, thank you for everything that you have done to help mold me into the warrior and the person that I am today, Master Gichin. And while I know that I was never able to truly ever say goodbye, Jiren adds, I can only hope that this very moment in time was as loud and as clear as it could possibly be, in having this be the day where I can finally say goodbye for good to all of you, Jiren said.